Here we go. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Weekly Flow. Today, we are going to be talking about team building, and this is one of my favorite classes that we go through. What we want to do today is to understanding for those that are on a team, understanding for those that want a team, and understanding for those that have a team. So these are the kind of three players. Now, a lot of us are solo agents, so this is not going to apply to us. But what we really want to talk about is, if I'm thinking about creating a team, what should I go through? What should I think about? What should I do? And the whole thing really starts with who, not how. And this is a book that Rick and I talk about a lot. And it's the idea of really understanding why you're doing something, but more importantly, who can do things for you that take things off of your plate so that you can focus on the three things that you need to really be focusing on: putting contracts together, be a rainmaker, get people, negotiate, and then really concentrate on getting more clients in. So we're going to give you 8 steps to consider when creating a team. The first one is this the right time? Get your processes in place.
Started early.
What we at Flow Academy are all about. Hire for the right position at the right time. Know your team inside and out. Hire slow, fire fast. Lead with why. Don't forget the little things, and don't beat yourself up. So we're going to go through each of these. The first one is it the right time? And it really is important to understand, do you have enough business coming in right now that you can have another person coming onto the team? So it's really setting your goals for the year and the future to decide, do you have enough income to support additional people? The next one is think long-term. Don't just think the next 6 months. Really think, where do I want my business to be in 5 years or in 10 years? And if to get from here to there, what do I need to do to make that happen? Then work backwards. So if you want to be doing, $1.5 million in business in 5 years, work back from that and figure out, what is it that I need to do in order to get that $1.5 million GCI? So here are some questions to consider, and these are really important if you are thinking about being a team leader. The first one, are you ready? So when we work as a solo agent, we really are only concerned about us and what we're doing. But to be a really good team leader, you need to be really supportive and understanding of the people that you're leading. So do you have enough income to be able to do that right now? Do you have enough volume to make it work? And are you willing to be a team leader? So, and also, are you starting a team for the right reason? Are you doing it because you want continued growth, because you want to be a mentor to other people, because it's something that really is going to help you be more successful? And then the second thing is, get your processes in place. And this is something that we talk about in Flow Academy all the time. It's so important to have process in place and to make sure that your team is following the process that you have, so everybody's doing the same thing. So I've listed a bunch of things here, and these are the types of processes and plans that we need to consider. We need to put together our business plan and goals. So many of us don't think as a solo agent to put together a business plan, but it happens with a lot of people. However, if you have other people that are really depending on you to generate business and to help with the business, a plan needs to be in place and goals so that everybody's following the same thing. Then vision, purpose, brand. What do we want to be? How are we going to operate? What is our reason for being in business together? It's important to have your marketing and advertising together, figured out how you're going to be reaching other people as a team. Database and referral system, that all needs to be in place so that your teammates can be all working off of the same database and seeing the same thing. As we've already taught, as you've already gone through the classes, the buyer process and the seller process are really important. Transaction management system, many of us use SkySlope. There are different types of things out there. TC, I think, is a really important thing to have on a team, or availability to a TC, because it really helps the flow of paperwork, lead generation and follow-up systems, and then financial productivity, profitability reports and forecasts. So really on a monthly basis, understanding exactly where you are. So the next important thing to think about is hiring the right position at the right time. And I really believe that an administrator, an assistant, a business manager is the first person that you need to get on your team. This is going to be the person that is really the back office, that's running what's happening within your business and really has an understanding of everything that's going on. This person also could potentially be, when you start bringing people on, this could be the person that starts training the people that come into your team and helps manage that side of the business. The next is a buyer's agent. That's somebody that's dealing with your buyers. An inside sales agent. An inside sales agent is an agent that really can double your GCI really quickly. This is the person that is taking any leads that is coming in and making the phone calls, making the appointments, and really working the leads that are coming in for you, and really helping to navigate that so that it will eventually get to you. Then this is a position that doesn't always come right away, but it's a listing agent, somebody that's just taking care of listings. That usually happens with a larger team. So it's really important that you know the team that you put together inside and out. And you have to start with yourself. It's really important to understand how you work, how you want other people to work, to understand what your goals are and what your why is. Because as you start to hire more people, you want these people to be consistent with you. So what I recommend that people do is go through a personality assessment with their team. And we've seen a lot of these. There's the DISC, the Myers-Briggs. There are all kinds of these personality assessments that you can take your team through. And what it does is it helps to show where your people shine. And I think when you understand that about each other, it's easier to understand how you work well together. This one's key. Hire slow, fire fast. And the idea of this is to really develop a position description that is very thoroughly explaining what the requirements of this position are. And it can be something that changes, but it gives the person that is potentially coming on to your team an understanding of what they're supposed to do. So I don't know if this happened to you, but it happened to me when I first got into business. I hired somebody as an assistant because I knew that I was ready to have an assistant, but I didn't really have everything laid out for them to understand exactly what it was that they needed to do. So it was kind of a rocky road for both of us as we went through that process. So when I then brought on another person, I very carefully detailed the position description so we knew exactly what the expectation was. And it did change, of course, over time, but it really made a huge difference. So having a really strong position description is important, not just for if you're bringing on a partner, but for if you have an administrator for each position that you plan to bring on. Then there's training and development. Training and development is so important. You can't expect somebody just to jump in and understand exactly how you work. So this is where the training for the first person is going to be you, if you're the team leader. And what I recommend is that if you have a business manager, that person becomes the trainer after that. So really training, understanding the program, understanding the process is really important. And training is not just a one-time thing. It's something that happens all the time through the duration of your team being together, because it helps develop the team and just helps the business run more smoothly. So regular team meetings are really important. What I suggest to people when they get together is to have two meetings a week. If they're not in the same place, and even if they are in the same place, but to have two specific meetings a week. And what I like to do is on Monday is kind of the business meetings where you check in, what happened over this weekend, open houses, where are we with our clients, and more of an operational kind of meeting. Then on Thursdays, you have a marketing meeting. What are we doing to build our brand, to build our business? to ensure that we have a nice flow of clients coming in. And I think it's important to kind of divide those two, because you can keep the focus on the separate things, that the idea of keeping your business moving, but also how are you going to bring in more clients. Now, if I would expect with most of us that we're talking with our teams regularly. I know Rick and Nicole talk all the time, but to have a specific time that you're going to talk about a specific thing, I think is important to really help the team move forward. So if an individual is not fit for the team, it could have a very negative effect on the rest of your team or you as the team leader. And my recommendation is, as soon as you get the indication that this is not a right fit for the team, it's going to be difficult to get that round peg into a square hole, and it's best to just cut ties. So lead with why. I started to say this with who, not how, but the idea of your why is the most important thing for just life in general. So the whole reason why you want a team is important, but why are you in business? And really getting to that point is so important. And when you have a team, it's really important that everybody understands and shares that same why, so that you're moving as a group together. So it's creating that clear understanding of the team's why. You create a common belief system by understanding what each other's why is. And it really helps to move the team forward. It's also important to understand each other's values, because the values, these are people that you're with a lot. And understanding where each other comes from can make a big difference in the success of the team. And then the purpose. What is our purpose? What is it that we're trying to do? So next is, don't forget the little things. So communication is so important. And the other important thing is not to make assumptions. So the idea of communicating, if you're a team of 2, if you're a team of 10, if you're a team of 30, communication is so important, and communication needs to come from the leader so that it's going through the whole organization, but it also needs to come from all of your team members back to the leader and as a whole. Clear communication and regular communication really will resolve so many issues, or not, you won't even have the issues because you're communicating. Always go above and beyond with your team. Always acknowledge them, always help them to be successful. I think the more that you can do with your team and that they understand that you are really there for them is going to make them feel more comfortable being a part of the team, and they're also going to be more productive. Be proactive. If you see something happening that maybe somebody's starting to stumble, needs some help with something, be proactive and try to resolve that issue before it does become an issue. It might be a training issue. It could be help with a specific task that's required of them. So it's important to constantly be aware of what's going on with your teammates. Detailed information will make your team feel comfortable, supported, and respected. Share with them. Really as much detail that you can give them with deals, with listings, with the way that your processes are working. The more information that you can give them, they're going to feel much more comfortable, supported, and respected, which is so important. Here's the one thing that is really important to remember. Don't beat yourself up, because hiring and training correctly is not easy. And you might go through 3 or 4 or 5 people before you get the right fit and the right combination in team. It's not going to happen right away necessarily, so don't beat yourself up. Persevere through the hiring cycle. It can take a long time to find the person, but it's worth taking the time to get the right person. Team members are going to come and go. And I think one of the biggest fear that we as agents feel when we're hiring somebody is that we are bringing in maybe a newer agent, and the fear is we're going to get them to a point that they are really understanding the business, they're really doing well, and then they're going to want to go off on their own. And sometimes that happens, and that's okay. But just understand that teammates do come and go. And constantly be willing to change and grow, you and your team, because we know this just in life. Things change, market changes, things in our personal life change. As that happens, you need to be willing to grow and change you and your team. So, what are the roadblocks? Well, I think one of the biggest roadblocks is the idea of, am I ready for this? So, if you are on a team, I think understanding these things that a team leader should be sharing with you maybe isn't, you might be the person that is able to kind of bring it up to the other side to help that communication happening. Other roadblocks, just not ready to have a team, and that's fine. So it's just important to that this idea be perfect for you, and it's the right timing for you to start a team or join a team as well.